Hi again, and thanks for joining us for the Yetis Without Borders podcast. My name is Patrick Saxon, and I'm joined today by Zach Shurton. How you doing, Zach?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. I'm joined as always by my brother Timothy. How's things?
Sup?
Wow, awesome.
I'm getting ready for Triple X3, man.
Yeah.
I have to get all of my early 2000s catchphrases in Shibby.
Your lingo?
Yeah.
I guess Shibby would have been, Dude, Where's My Car was fucking awful.
Fucking awesome is what you mean.
Coming.
Oh my god.
It was amazing.
Dude, Where's My Car again?
Dude.
Ashton Kutcher could play like his character's dad, you know?
Yeah, they could both probably just reprise their roles. I
Yeah.
doubt their guys, well, the characters are probably dead. Let's be honest. They probably died somehow.
Or one of them is the president of America, one of them is the president of Russia, and then they do a pseudo-documentary, serious drama matching Obama and Putin. Except with the Dude Where's My Car guys.
Esoteric, kind of.
It's really weird that literally came off the fly from you. That's
That literally, out of nowhere. You're welcome.
You got some problems.
It's very avant-garde.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is that movie doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Fuck. Okay, today we are here to discuss 2002's Die Another Day, the last Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie, and the movie that may have indeed killed the franchise if it wasn't for Daniel Craig.
Die another day.
Yeah. So that's a good place to start. I fucking hated this song so much.
It's not a good song. It's very lazy.
Yeah, and
It feels like Madonna was not trying.
Yeah, I normally like Madonna a whole heck of a lot. I think she's a super talented singer. But
Well, let's just dial it back a sec there. You enjoy Madonna?
I think she's very talented.
Papa Don't Preach is a great song.
It is. And the song from Happy Endings that they do, Like a Prayer,
Yeah,
is a great song.
You know, classic Madonna. I even kind of like this era. Of
So
Madonna,
you know, like
electro
3 Madonna songs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say. I'm an
Okay,
expert.
so we're glossing over her career over 3. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
She's awesome then.
I've
She's-
never bought an album, you know.
Okay,
She's talented singer.
You made it sound like you were a bigger fan than you actually are. And that's fine, I just wanted to call you out on it.
I imagine I would probably like other things that she has done, to be 100% honest.
I'd pick up a greatest hits, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, considering that she is probably thrice my age, she's pretty attractive. I mean, she's got to be, 105, 106 now? I think she's not young.
Oh, and she's got the body of a 27-year-old man.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean,
I'm into it.
Younger than me, I'm good with it.
Whatever, yeah. Always swing up, right?
Yeah. She did that remake of American Pie, right? Is it American Pie?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
She did a remake of
few years
something
ago,
like that.
I think.
It would have been like a decade ago now.
Yeah, and it
But,
was
looked
fucking
good.
awful.
Well, disagree. It's not as good as the Weird Al one, but better than the original.
Did you hear her newest single, "Bitch I'm Madonna"?
Oh, wow.
It's
no.
not good. It's not-
All right, fair enough.
It's really her being like, "I'm gonna cash in whatever remaining dignity I have left for an extra 15 minutes in the spotlight."
Yeah, she's not getting that guy Richie money anymore.
I know,
so.
right?
For conversation's sake, the Madonna remake of American Pie came out in 2000. It's now 16 years old.
Jesus Christ. I guess I was still in high school, yeah.
Yeah, that is a fuck of a long time ago. And truth be told, I haven't thought about that since probably 2000 until just now when you brought it up.
I absolutely have seen that video since then because she looks good in those jeans. Madonna, if you're ever in town, give me a call. We'll hang out.
You guys can shoot hoops?
Sure.
Sweet.
Well, she's way taller than me, though. That's not fair.
Is she?
Yeah, she's like 6 feet, isn't she?
No
I
way.
thought she's
No way.
probably taller than me.
I'm bringing
I'm like
up the-
fucking Hobbit short.
Just don't fence with her. She's an expert fencer.
Absolute expert fencer.
So-
Would you put Rosamund Pike up against her?
I would put Rosamund Pike up against anybody.
Best tie-in ever. Did you see what I did there?
You just mentioned the other person in the movie.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, they can't all be wins, okay?
Yeah, that's also true. So I mean, back to the song. Like, it was not a good song. It's probably of the ones that I like actively remember, my least favorite James Bond song.
Oh, I feel like we should keep talking about Madonna for a sec. She
Okay.
was married to Sean Penn.
Yeah, in the
did
early
not know
90s.
that. Yeah. No.
Who was it?
85 to 89.
That's early 90s.
The really early 90s. Yeah.
Oh, pre-early 90s.
-5 90s.
Yeah, and she was married to Guy Ritchie for a long-ass time.
Yeah.
And
He
they
made a movie starring her.
And
Evita?
no,
yeah, it was Evita, yeah.
he didn't direct Evita, did he?
Oh no,
but she's in it. Okay.
No, he's in like a beach movie or something. She's in one of his movies.
Oh, it was a remake of a 1950s Italian movie.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Like Dolce Vita?
No, the 50s beach movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll take your word for it.
And
did you find out how tall she is?
I'm working on it. I'm now onto the beach movie. But interesting news today. She just lost custody of her children to Guy Ritchie. It just came up today.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Timely.
It's because she didn't have enough money. That's why she had to make that song. Because, bitch, she's Madonna.
She wants to remind everyone.
Yeah.
It was called Swept Away. Director, Guy Ritchie.
Yes.
That's what failed him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did rock and roll, though.
Oh, the movie's terrible.
Oh, I like rock and roll.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I might have to watch
I wanted
it.
him to make that trilogy. It's never going to happen.
I doubt it. He's making that King Arthur movie with Charlie Hunnam now.
Yeah.
And that looks interesting. A lot of actors in it, I'll give him that.
Okay, so she's 5.45 feet tall.
Oh, she's
5
like
feet,
this,
4.5
she's like
inches.
slightly shorter than me.
You can dunk
yeah.
on her.
Boom! I can definitely dunk on it. Absolutely.
You can break her
That's-
ankles, you know?
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
It's really putting it in
If there's
perspective.
one thing
there.
I can do is a massive crossover in basketball as a short, fat white man. Alright, so into the movie. The premise of the movie is...
Actually, let's stay on the song, not specifically Madonna, but how would you guys rate this song in terms of the scope of other songs? We briefly talked about this before the podcast, but I thought the material was good enough. We should talk about it again. Let's start top Bond song.
For me, I like the Chris Cornell one.
You Don't Know Me,
That's
off
what
of
it's called.
Casino Royale.
It's You Know My Name.
You
So
know
you-
my name. I think it was really good. I remember like vividly the video of it in the movie because they always do like the music video ahead of
That's a good
time.
intro, yeah, with the
And
playing cards.
Yeah, it looked really, really good, and he had a nice. It wasn't a too much of like an offensive voice that some people I find have. Madonna in this one specifically. That would be mine.
In the GoldenEye theme song, Tina Turner hits a couple notes where her voice cracks,
Yeah.
and I would lump that as the offensive.
Yeah,
voice.
well, and I
That's
mean,
brutal.
like the weird like dubstep kind of thing that Madonna does in this one, where they do a lot of like remixes of her voice when she's saying "Die Another Day."
Auto-tune.
That's
Just
true.
garbage.
Yeah,
See, I don't like I don't mind the electro stuff as much. It feels like a modern Bond song when she's like. What I don't like is when she just is obviously making stuff up. When she's like Sigmund Freud.
when she
analyze
said that
this,
sexy, I
analyze
was like,
this.
"Holy shit! I've never been turned on by Sigmund
It
Freud."
felt like
before.
she didn't finish the song. That's what it felt like to me. It's like, no, Madonna, you can't just. Like, this is the theme song for a movie. You need to actually work on this.
Maybe they let Halle Berry write it.
Maybe.
That's what it is.
I always get confused, or like I'm always like curious if they have like, did Madonna write the song, or did someone write the song and Madonna sang the song?
I think usually they co-write the song. I didn't actually look in the credits this time.
I
I'm not
will
sure,
make that
'cause-
happen.
'cause
Usually they write the song. I
Is it
think.
okay? Because I was always curious, like if they look at Chris Cornell and they're like, "Hey, write a song for Casino Royale."
I'm pretty sure the artists
okay,
write
I
them.
can do that.
I think Adele co-wrote Skyfall. Like, I think obviously they were like, we're
Yeah,
gonna-
she probably added in a couple like
Yeah.
Adele-isms or
Yeah.
whatever.
So for conversation's sake, this was written by Madonna and I'm gonna try this. Merwais Amadze.
Oh yeah, and this is just a producer. I was listening to
he's
Die
a
Another Day
producer.
podcast.
How do you spell it?
Mirwais for the first name. Yep. And the last name is Ahmadzai with an umlaut.
And I think he's someone she brought in. So I think basically Madonna was just like, I'm doing, which makes sense because like she's Madonna, like
Yeah.
you know.
Here you go. He's from Switzerland. He's been active since 1990, and his main associated act is Madonna. So clearly, it's their baby.
Yeah.
Makes
As I assume a lot of other songs that Madonna and him do.
Probably.
But I have reason to believe that the artists are told to write a song. I don't know if they watch the movie and then they write the song based on inspiration, or they just go off the title.
Well, yeah, because there's not a lot of songs that aren't the title of the movie.
Yeah, it's usually just the title of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look up "You Know My Name" just for conversation's
So
sake.
what would your favorite song be? from
I like.
James
I kind of have two answers. I think as like a James Bond song, I like Goldfinger.
Bond? Goldfinger's a classic.
Like it's just that's the James Bond song.
Yeah.
And then as a song, like it's something I would just listen to independent of a James Bond movie. I think I like "View to a Kill." Like that's a song I kind of get stuck in my head, and I'm like, I kind of want to listen to that song.
Yeah, it is
I
one of
like
the worst
it.
movies, but
It's
pretty
an
good
awesome
too.
song.
Yeah, it's really pretty
I like
good
it
too.
a lot. I also like the Chris Cornell one. I had that album, his album
cool.
that it was on, and I used to listen to that song all the time.
Was that the Sun-Soaked or Sun?
It was just a solo album. I can't remember what it was called. There's a lot of covers too. He also had Billie Jean by Michael Jackson.
Oh, really?
It was really good.
Interesting.
Version of it he did.
Okay, so You Know My Name by Chris Cornell was co-written by David Arnold, the soundtrack's composer.
Okay, kind of.
So there's got to be some sort of influence there.
So that was more of a collaboration.
Yeah.
Where he was kind of maybe working alongside what was going to be the...
yeah, because they probably
the
have to
intro.
like intertwine like some parts of plotline into it and stuff like that. And interesting.
That one, though, it is... Like, I would believe that one, they just sort of like... Chris Cornell write a song that is about the idea of James Bond, because it's nothing specifically to do with...
No.
It's just about James Bond, the guy.
Yeah.
In a pretty general sense. Most of them usually are. Or they're just nonsense. Like, this Madonna one is just nonsense.
So
When she's like, I'm gonna shut out, though. I don't even know. Like,
It was fucking...
I was like trying to rationalize in my head. I'm like, this is him thinking to himself while he's being... Like, maybe we'll get into the plot here, but he's being tortured during the intro. And reading on IMDb, this is the first, and I think only James Bond intro that is actually something to do with the story, where it isn't just a random collection of images, or like something that's foreshadowing the story. This is literally like in the context of the movie, he's literally being tortured, and we're seeing it during the intro.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that until after, where they do the CGI scorpions in it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't even understand what this is. Then
Scorpion venom.
Yeah, then they discuss what happens. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, why would they... Whatever, I don't even care. I'm already past it, because this movie's ridiculous within the first 7 minutes. Like, not even a big deal. So what would your number one James Bond song be?
Live and Let Die, Paul McCartney and Wings. Don't even have to think about it. It is such a ripping song, and I actually don't necessarily associate it with James Bond first. I associate it with the convenience store blowing up in Grosse Pointe Blank.
I understand that. That's a good show. We should watch that. We should do that one.
We should do a John Cusack themed day. But okay, enough about that. Let's not talk about John Cusack anymore. But Live and Let Die, excellent song. Everything about it is awesome.
I can't even... I completely forgot about that one. That's a pretty good tune. Damn. All right.
And it stands up... I don't know about you guys, but I can't think of very many other James Bond theme songs that have survived outside of being in James Bond. Like, you won't hear that Madonna Die Another Day song on the radio, or the Chris Cornell one. You won't hear these, but Live and Let Die somehow exists outside of that.
I remember Die Another Day I feel like it did get some radio play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, it was released as a single by her as well, I'm pretty sure.
And I will
not
say,
just for the movie.
I think it's a bad intro sequence. Like, I think it looks a little too old school, but I kind of like the song. The song's catchy, at least. It's a very lazy song.
Yeah, the song fit what they were doing in the thing.
Yeah.
It just didn't do it for me, and considering that, again, I'm not 100%, I'm not a Madonna expert, I will not claim such a thing.
Okay, perfect.
But she's, as far as I've been led to believe, she's not big into auto-tune. Like, she does sing her own things.
I think that was sort of what she was doing at the time. Like, she has some other songs that sound like Die Another Day. Like, I can't even think what it is, but she has another single that sounds like that.
That's fair.
So it sounds to me like...
She
didn't, or like that... But she didn't do, like, a James Bond song. She did a Madonna song.
Yeah.
But like maybe that's what they asked her to do. Like that's why you would get Madonna, presumably. So I don't know if that's really her fault. I think she was lazy though. I don't know. Maybe she thought she was being very clever.
Maybe, I don't know.
But the Sigmund Freud line is like it was terrible.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Kind of irredeemable. Like
yeah, and she like erotically whispered Sigmund Freud, and I was like, oh.
So for conversation's sake, the song that popped up in my head when you guys were talking about Madonna and autotune is "Ray of Light." And I'm pretty sure there's some auto-tune in there.
I couldn't tell you that song to save my life.
I gotta Google it because I have a specific one in my
head. And the video is very, very blocky. The way she moves, it's super weird.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think she's in the middle of a street and there's light rays of it, I assume.
I mean, outside of Like a Prayer, and I like the Adam Pally version from Happy Endings. I think is way better because his voice just seems to fit it like flawlessly.
Just that husky man?
Yeah, he's got that like sexy whisper thing going on, and I was like, goddamn, like.
Is this going to turn into a boner for Adam Halle? We're just going to talk about him.
I'm fine with
Love Adam Pally.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Hung Up. Every little thing that you say or do.
I do know that song.
She doesn't really auto-tune, but that's a little more electro dance in that one.
That's fair.
Just speaking of electro dance, just as an aside.
Papa Don't Preach, great tune. Sorry.
You already said that.
I think I said that one.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Made up my mind.
Yeah.
Just
in my baby.
wow.
I love that song.
That's good too. For conversation's sake, I finally found out what EDM stands for, electronic dance music.
Yes.
I had no idea. I always thought of it as just electronica.
Yeah, D&B is drum and bass.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's down tempo, there's dub, there's dubstep, there's dub reggae, there's reggaeton. There's like a shit, and
like 400,000.
EDM encompaces all of that.
Yeah.
I had
also,
no idea.
Crap.
Yeah. I was
Euro trash.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
I pictured Thomas Lennon in super tight leather pants going, "Oh, this is my next tour."
Yeah, nothing but like fucking black turtlenecks.
Yeah. Oh, and as an aside, if I can make mention as well, for theme songs, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a super badass one. It's as far as I know, it's a full-on instrumental one. And then, just to tie this into EDM, because I'm really good at tying in things, Propellerhead did a electronica cover of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was awesome. And I'm not saying that to be facetious. It's genuine. They took the horn line, which was the lead line of the song, and then they just did a remix of it, and it was super awesome. It was larger than life.
Propellerhead-y.
Super Propellerhead-esque. Yeah, if you will.
I haven't heard a Propellerhead song in a long time.
Neither have I. And it just popped into my head just now.
I don't even know if they're still... Whatever, we can get past that. We'll see if they're a band later. Next podcast, you'll find out.
Oh! That's our...
Oh.
The Propeller Heads, and then that's us.
Nice.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
So, the movie is... it's about James Bond, who is trying to kill someone from North Korea.
Yeah, what do you think about him just being on an assassination mission? Like, it seemed very, very adult for James Bond.
I thought it seemed also pretty intense, and then at the same time, really not thought out at all. Because when the Diamond Face guy, says he's James Bond and they're going to kill him, they could be like, "Oh, what are you going to do now?" He could have just said, "Yeah, I'm James Bond. I'm selling you diamonds.
Yeah.
What's the fucking problem? Like, he's
I've
a
gone
spy.
rogue, yeah.
This is what he does." But instead, he goes all... He tries to be all loyal and stuff, and James Bond, loves England and everything, but he doesn't want to fucking die. So I would absolutely lie about it. I'd be like, "Yeah, you blew up my goddamn helicopter. I'm here to sell you fucking diamonds. Like, now what am I gonna do?"
I know, he doesn't try to play it cool at all. He's just like, "You got me."
Yeah, he's just immediately angry.
Well, I mean, that can definitely tie into the general laziness of the script and plot altogether.
It's a bit
Like,
slapdash.
I do appreciate the idea of the adult situation because you assume that 007 is a hitman. That's one of the things he does.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he kills everybody.
Yeah, totally. So I mean, they certainly played into that well, but then they just absolutely shit the bed in the delivery of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because he's like on a serious assassination mission in like a real world place with all this intrigue, and it starts by him surfing onto shore. And the way he gets, it's so like silly James Bond contrast to it.
Yeah, and this is like peak just before blue screen became a thing, so it's all still green screen.
I think they actually were surfing. I think those were real surfers at the start.
But
obviously
just like
later
the movie
on.
in general, yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
later on when he
it's-
surfs, that's the whole...
I'd like to think that it was actually Pierce Brosnan doing all the surfing because it makes the movie that much more dramatic.
I could see that, but all of the backdrops and all of the scenes that were on the blue screen, because I think it's
Blue screen was first, green screen.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's pre-green screen, was fucking awful.
There's some really bad stuff.
All the CGI in this movie was horrendous. Like it was.
Did you read Roger Moore's quote where he's first off he says this? I think this is one took it too far, and this is coming from the first Bond in space.
Yeah.
And then he called out the invisible car, obviously, and the terrible CG as being the low points of the series.
Yeah, like it was not. I mean, I can't disagree with him. Like, the CGI and everything in this were just fucking brutal.
There was a point where when the Americans shoot the missile, I'm going to kind of jump around, we'll get back to it, but when they shoot the missile at the space station thing, and the missile gets blown up, where I literally thought, that looks like Robot Chicken. It looked like a claymation missile that was being blown up.
It looked ridiculous.
I mean, how can... how can we even take Roger Moore calling this series out seriously?
Well, that's the
point. He was in a goddamn crocodile suit.
But that's the point of it, though. Because if Roger Moore of all people, because Sean Connery doesn't say anything, he doesn't give a shit anymore. Timothy Dalton was probably the best James Bond there was.
But he never really...
He didn't have a chance to do anything.
He's not one of the classics,
Yeah, so for Timothy Dalton, Roger Moore to say, like, I am probably the worst James Bond you're going to see, and this is, like, beneath me?
That's
That's ridiculous.
And he certainly wasn't putting himself out on a ledge by shit-talking this movie everyone was. Yeah. Everyone piled on this movie.
Absolutely. Sean Connery, all James Bonds, except for Sean Connery, went to the premiere of this movie because it was the 40th anniversary of James Bond. Sean Connery did not, because he was filming A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Which just shows how much he literally gave a shit about this movie.
Apparently there was a rumor that they were going to get him to play James Bond's dad, but Sony denied that happened. And they said if we had paid the money to bring him here and shoot that scene, we would have put it in the movie. That's well, fair enough.
Yeah, I understand that.
So that would mean that he gave birth to James Bond and Indiana Jones?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's kind of awesome.
We named the dog James.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Your name's Spot.
Yeah. So he gets caught, as we see throughout the movie, and the overlying plot line is...
If I can just interject, even just on that point, this is goddamn James Bond. Why is he getting caught? Why is he so shitty at his job at this point that he gets caught?
Well,
it's certainly tying into what you're saying about how he shouldn't have been so loyal. He should have not necessarily doing away with his loyalty, but he should have been more keen on his cover story. And I just think this movie just really shows. I get laziness of plot and script, but also the laziness of James Bond in general. He's like, fuck it, I've been doing this for 50 years. I don't give a shit anymore.
Well, he only gets... The only reason they know who he is because there's a mole in MI6, so otherwise he would have been okay. He would have been fine.
Yeah. But can't he think on his feet?
I kind of like how he just gets that, he kills Colonel Moon, who, he's dead. Keep him in mind, though. And he diamond faces Zhao, Rick Yoon.
Yeah.
And, but I like how once he kills his guy, he kind of just like, well, whatever happens to me now, I got my job.
Yeah.
I did what I needed to do, and then he just, kind of waits around and get captured.
Yeah.
That just seems a little defeatist to me.
I was like, why don't you just run into the bushes? You probably
that's exactly it.
Dive works in every fucking job.
If you're James Bond, you could probably leap off that ledge and survive
at least.
Well, literally, the goddamn movie's called Die Another Day. He was literally hoping to die that day.
I can't even really explain the plot line without going into too many things, so we can just, go through the movie. He gets caught by the North Koreans, and he's tortured for 14 and a half months before he's traded back to the Americans.
For Diamond Face.
Who's
awesome. I actually really liked him. I think he was my favorite part.
I really enjoy Rick Yoon. I think he's a really good actor. I firmly believe that character would be dead, though. He had C4 blow diamonds into his face, and he's just, cool with it.
And it looked like he could take them out. Right
he'd
on
just
the
be
surface.
Bing, not a big
bleed
deal.
a little bit.
But, diamonds are, as far as I've been led to believe, the hardest, gem and, rock out there, right?
They're also a girl's best friend.
Perfect. Thank you.
Diamonds Are Forever is a good song, too.
Yeah. But, if a diamond gets, blown into your face, you're probably going to die. Especially from C4, and he was, 10 feet away?
So we should call them Mythbusters, guys, and we should see if diamond can pierce the human skull.
I'm sure, blown from C4, I'm sure it can.
Speaking of myths busting, something I looked up because I wasn't sure if it was real. Hovercrafts really can go over landmines.
I looked up that too. I was watching. I was like, "This is dumb," but apparently it's real.
That's real. Yeah.
Yeah.
It said if it's a pressure landmine, the air won't be enough. If it has like a tripwire or something, it'll trigger it. Obviously. But
yeah,
that would actually work. So I was like, "All right, go James Bond."
Yeah, like
go,
the first thing you've ever done factually correct.
The second, invisible car.
Absolutely.
Well,
but
someone pointed out, sure it would work, but how would it work on the tires?
Yeah.
And also, how would it work in terms of like people looking at it from different perspectives? The invisible car.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's every plot point in every movie where something is invisible. Outside of a wizard's magic spell.
They do it well in Mission Impossible 4, where they do kind of the same thing with the camera, but once two people show up, it can't follow their eyes anymore and it starts screwing up.
Oh yeah,
that
was a sweet part actually.
Those are the good versions of this type of movie, with the crazy gadgets and stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, when you've got Tom Cruise doing every stunt, I mean that certainly adds to the realism.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know what kind of pill Scientology's giving him, but awesome.
Where are you just trying to get out though?
I kind of heard that too.
They're not letting him spend time with his daughter.
Yeah.
With I believe Siri.
Yeah. Suri.
Yeah, because it's not the Apple girl.
Yes. Siri is Apple. Suri is Cruise.
Right.
Yeah, because what's her name? Ex-wifey left already with the kid. Katie Holmes, and
she can call me too if anyone's curious. That's fine.
She's calling Dawson.
I would too.
Me too.
That's fine.
As an aside, why didn't they put him in the new Power Rangers movie?
James Vanderbeek?
Yeah. Didn't you see that Power Rangers thing that they did online?
Yeah, but he wasn't in Power Rangers.
No, but they're doing a new movie.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't like a sanctioned Power Rangers thing.
Oh, no, I know, but I just think he was so good. That was really good.
Save money and go for unknowns for that.
Yeah.
Well, teens with attitude.
They have Bryan Cranston and they have Elizabeth Banks.
They're spending money on the others, but the kids, they're like, we don't.
Do you think they would have spent that much money on James Vanderbeek though?
No, that's a fair point.
If I recall, that was just a fan-made thing, as we all know. But
it was, yeah.
I can't imagine there was a lot of pay involved.
There was a second person in that. It wasn't just
the blonde lady. Katie.
I'll take your word for it.
Sackhoff.
There you go, Katie Sackhoff. That's exactly right.
I'll buy that.
I'm gonna go balls deep in dogs.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh my god, that's what it was.
Whatever her name is in Riddick. That's what I mean, she's also Starbuck and Battlestar or whatever.
Yeah.
But
she's fine.
She's a good-looking lady. She's mean too. I like that.
Resting bitch face. Absolutely. High five all around.
So back to the movie. The second thing that happens in the movie that really set me off a whole bunch is he seems to get PTSD from this specific thing that happens. When he's in the hospital bed and he's just remembering all the things that happened over the past 14 months. How's he getting PTSD now?
How does he not remember blowing up Silicon Valley?
How does he not remember anything that happened in his life? But being stung by scorpions, probably the least bad thing that happened to him, is the only thing that sticks in his fucking mind.
Okay, so let's extrapolate this a little further. I want to go into the James Bond mythos in general. Do you think the 007 is just a character? And what I mean by... Sorry, not a character, title that people put on. So it's perfectly feasible that Sean Connery was... whoever Sean Connery's role was in the movie, whatever, Bill Johnson or whatever the hell his name is, he took on the role of James Bond for MI6, and then once he retired, they passed the torch to Lazenby and, so on and so forth. All these different guys are all James Bond.
They definitely could do that. I believe Roger Moore goes and visits his wife's grave, and there's things like that in pretty much every version, where they do have these connecting threads. Mm-hmm. Blofeld is obviously a big one that there is only one Blofeld. Yeah. But then I don't know, when you get into the Daniel Craig stuff, that's really where it starts to be why is he just starting, but Judi Dench is still M when she had been there are multiple M's and there have been multiple Q's, so it's certainly
So would the Daniel Craigs be prequels to the Pierce Brosnans in the chronology?
That's what it seems like it's supposed to be. It's the start
I think so.
Because Q Branch gets started over the course of the in Skyfall they start Q Branch and
and M shows up in GoldenEye, if I recall. That's her first...
Judi Dench,
Judi Dench, sorry, yeah.
And we see Moneypenny get hired in like by the end of Spectre, we're pretty much where we were starting.
But it is like the Black Moneypenny and not Ginger Moneypenny.
No, for sure. But
because Ginger Moneypenny's in GoldenEye, and
she's in all four of them.
All four of them. That's Samantha something or other. Don't remember.
I think it's supposed to be the same guy every time.
I think it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if like that's gonna be the twist someone puts on it. Like when someone's like, "I'm gonna do my vision of James Bond," is they're gonna reveal that it's been different guys.
Yeah, because that was the Idris Elba thing where they were going to bring in Idris Elba, but he's black, so they were going to say it's just a title. The difficulty that yours has is it was Sean Connery, George Lazenby, then Sean Connery again.
Exactly. Yeah, and
that makes it really difficult because that would imply that Sean Connery either because I assume
he retired and came back,
but
he took vacation. Is that a
thing?
But
then they just give someone else the same title after vacation.
I don't know.
And it's really tough.
Well, I assume it would depend on how many missions came up. Because,
that's still on vacation. I'm sure he still does stuff.
Sean Connery, James Bond, you can have some time off. Oh shit, something came up, but he's on break. Let's call up the underwear model.
But then would give him the same name?
They do make a big deal in like Skyfall that in Spectre too, that James Bond is his actual name. It isn't just the name they've given him.
But in obviously my favorite James Bond, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, at the beginning, there's actually a fourth wall break where Lazenby looks into the camera and he says, the other guy never had this much trouble.
That's just a joke, though. I think it's hard to take too much that at face value.
I'll believe it when they bring in Idris Elba if they do, but until such time, it's also difficult to say that it's. I always imagine that he's 007 because Sean Bean's always 006. That's a thing for me. Because they don't have, if they'd have renamed another 006 after GoldenEye, then I would believe that...
Was there not another 006 in any of the movies?
There's 00s, but there's no 006.
No 006. I don't think there's ever been a 00 that's repeated in a movie. I don't think we've ever met a 00.
Because I know we met 00, obviously Sean Bean in GoldenEye, and I know that there was another one in...
I'll look it up right now.
The 00 dies in Goldfinger, I think.
I think so.
Sent a 00
yeah, they sent someone before him, and then they have to send Sean Connery.
Yeah.
So while you're looking that up...
Well, for conversation's sake, I want to talk about Idris Elba. My only problem with him being the new Bond is that it would be so difficult for them to pull off a successful Bond based on how well he did Luther. I don't know if you guys have seen Luther, but I can't imagine that Bond would be even remotely in the same realm as how good Luther was. To me.
I don't think that's a reason not to do it, though.
I'm not saying... I'm just saying I have difficulty with it.
He can be smooth, and he's basically an alcoholic in Luther anyways, so you just put on a different suit, it's almost the same guy.
And just make him drink martinis.
Did you guys read the rumor that they offered Craig $150 million to do 2 more?
I heard he was coming back.
It was shot down already.
No, I read like a week ago that he had signed on for one more.
Yeah, well, but that's only a tentative one. If we read the same article, he signed on for it so long as it doesn't interfere with his 10-episode miniseries on, I think, HBO. As long as he can work his schedule out right. And now back to my thing, by the way. 006, a Royal Marine Commando, is mentioned in the novel on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Novels don't count. Only movies.
Okay.
That's not even fair.
Okay, novel.
The novels are definitely all he's one to.
Bill from Bill is a guy named Bill is 008 is in 2 novels. This is only going to refer to novels, I assume. 009, 011, and then let's just see 001, 004, 005, another 006.
I think you're 00 actually.
10, 12.
But we also can't really discuss novels because GoldenEye, the 4 Pierce Brosnan ones weren't novels.
Correct.
So here we go. That's not necessarily fair.
002 first appears in Thunderball. He is shot through the neck and killed by Francisco Scaramanga in Beirut.
I'll buy that.
In the film version.
Scaramanga's good. That's the harpoon to the chest, right?
Oh, and
I don't... Thunderball's the underwater one, right? Or
yeah, it's the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In The Living Daylights, another 002, John, is played by some actor, blah, blah, blah. And he's training with 004 and 007. 002 dies. Then we've got 003 is in Thunderball. He dies. His replacement is Jack Mason, who is in some video game or some shit or other. 004. Okay, so we're looking 006 specifically. Alex Trevelyan. You are correct. He is the only 006. 008's
no
got a few. 009's got a few. 9, 12, 13, an unknown. Weird.
00 question mark?
Double O question mark.
Shit.
Double O asterisk. Okay, so anyway, yeah, it appears in the mythos of it all. Mythos?
I think it's mythos.
Mythos? Okay. Yeah, Trevelyan is the only double
Trevelyan.
I think your double
What did I say?
shows that you have a license to kill.
Yeah, you said Alex Trevelyan. It's Alec Trevelyan.
What's wrong with that? It's Sean Bien.
Because both of your things are wrong.
Sheen Bean.
Xian Bien.
He
sounds like an Asian action superstar. Xian Bien.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
So after James Bond is saved by MI6, he is basically burned. Like
they think he's turned.
Yeah,
they think
he's the mole. They assume he's the mole.
So
because they just mentioned a lot of things once. Someone high up, like America had someone really high up placed in North Korea's council or something.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been killed the week before, like based on information that had been sent out of that prison camp. So they thought, which makes me think that okay, just to kind of set it up, Graves is the bad guy. We can kind of get into the twist a little later, but did he make it look like James had sent that information in order to get Zhao traded back so he could then bring him into his plan? Is that what it was?
I assume Rosamund Pike had something to do with it.
She was the one who definitely, she's the mole, but why did the information come from James Bond's prison camp? Were they setting him up?
Because Rosamund Pike was probably there, because she went to Princeton or whatever and studied fencing with the Gustav Graves, so she was probably involved in the entire thing from the get-go.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, but you think they were just like, we'll send the information from this camp, so then they will trade James Bond back.
We're probably reading between the lines there.
Yeah.
I mean,
because they don't really explain it. We know that we learned that Frost is the mole, but we don't really learn why that information. Why did it look like it came from James Bond? Because we know James Bond didn't crack under pressure.
It's a bit of a stretch, but you could certainly take it there.
Something I actually loved. There was a couple of moments I liked when he was like, "I took my cyanide out years ago." Like he's like, "I would never kill myself. I'm James Bond. I'm in love with myself."
Yeah,
I thought that was very fun.
Fantastic.
And I found that very contradictory to letting himself get caught.
I know, he was like, I know the rules, and 5 minutes later, I'm like, no, if you knew the rules, you would have taken the cyanide, James.
Yeah, and he said, I would have rather died than be traded back. Why don't you just, I'm sure you could have fucking killed yourself. At this one time, you could have bashed your head in a fucking wall and killed yourself.
How about you just take a couple of those scorpions back with you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just go limp underwater.
So
anything.
This is one of those movies where, if you think something kind of makes sense, give it a couple minutes and they'll retract it.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
You know what I thought was weird? Not that we need to move forward at some point, but then the female North Korean girl never comes back. The torturer lady.
Yeah, I thought he was going to bang her.
They make such a big deal out of her. I don't know. It seemed like they were going to have sex, and that was how he escaped.
Yeah.
But,
no, nothing. Super weird. And that's, we're 14 minutes into the movie at this point in time.
I think once we get
2 hour long movie.
Once we get farther in, we'll start going really fast, because the plot just really breaks down.
Badly. So he gets back to MI6 and is basically taken off active duty, escapes from, I believe it's a mobile hospital that's on a boat?
It's in Hong Kong Bay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a boat.
Yeah.
So
he stops his heart rate.
And he escapes that boat with zero effort.
It's only doctors.
Which would, again, no one's there to guard him, which would, again, make your point, Timothy, about him being just lazy. He probably could have escaped the prison if he saw fit.
Oh, absolutely.
No question in my mind. He could have just morphed himself into a fucking Korean
At least
and just walked out.
Prisons had guards. They're
he
better than MI6.
He would need to morph. He's, I assume, the world's best liar who'd just say to him, "No, dudes, I'm from North Korea." They'd be like, "Oh shit, he is."
Yeah.
I liked how he waited until the hot female doctor kissed him to get up.
Yeah.
He's such a creep, and he's like, "Thanks for the kiss of life."
Yeah, it was. Oh man.
Now, and then she's like, "I'm into it. I like this."
Would you say that he's a robot and is only fueled by female sexual interaction?
It certainly seems like it.
Yeah, and shitty lines.
Gonna run out.
Oh, totally. Well, I mean, they're pre-programmed, so I mean, his CPU it pushes out a shitty line.
Yeah.
That's it.
The weird thing I thought in this movie, it wasn't just James Bond who was quipping. Jinx was
God.
quipping. Miranda Frost starts quipping.
Yeah.
Gustav Graves is quipping. Everyone's got one-liners.
Yeah. I was really. I mean, even at this point in time, the plot line's moving away pretty quick. So
okay, let's summarize the movie real quick. He tries to kill the guy in Korea. He succeeds. Then he gets caught because he's a lazy fuck. Then he goes to prison. Then he gets out of prison. Then he's traded. Sorry, he's traded out of prison, but then he gets burned by MI6. Then he has to find the mole. Then he goes to an ice castle. There's an invisible car. He's on a plane. There's a guy with a diamond face. James Bond wins the end.
You missed Cuba.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, did I really though?
Well, but I mean, you missed the biggest part of the movie, where people want to discuss whitewashing the movies now. They literally changed a Korean man to a white man in Gustav Graves. He's played by Toby Stephens. He's the main captain in Black Sails. For people who don't really know who he is, he's a good actor. He's been in a lot of movies. But that's like the biggest part of it, where it's like such a big plot twist that everyone kind of picked up on pretty quickly.
Okay. I'm just trying to summarize the movie in general, and then we can talk about, because I assume we're going to talk about this. But the main plot is basically he has to stop a mole. He stops a mole.
It's the same as every other James Bond movie, realistically.
I felt bad for the guy who actually played Colonel Moon, because I thought he was way better.
I thought he was I thought he fit the part really well.
I love the scene right at the start of the movie where he's like beating up the punching bag, and then there's like a dude in the punching bag.
Yeah,
he seemed like a good James Bond villain. And then he's like
Yeah.
hopping around with the flames. I actually really like that opening action sequence. Like, it's fun.
It was.
And it's kind of dark. It almost feels like, outside of the surfing, it's kind of like what the Daniel Craig movies ended up being, where it's like kind of like just James Bond in a war movie. you know?
Yeah.
But he's still sort of doing James Bond stuff, and like
Absolutely.
it's kind of the right balance, where it's the silliness with the grittiness.
A lot of violence.
Well, I think the punching bag with the dude inside of it, I couldn't help but laugh because I felt like it should be something at Cooney's training facility in UHF.
I mean, I guess a lot darker though.
Whatever.
I like that. I like that dude. What's that Disney movie where the kid has like electric powers and he's like all pale
Jimmy Neutron?
and
Powder.
yeah, that's what
Sean Penn Flannery.
that's what Diamond Face looks like to me. It looks like powder.
Yeah.
He's one of the Boondock Saints.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He just looks. I actually like that where he just ends up getting so fucked up. Like he gets the Diamond Face, and then James Bond like interrupts him in the gene therapy. He breaks out of the hospital. He goes and he like kind of uses this Chinese informant guy. He knows that there's this double agent that's been working at this hotel for years, and he uses him as leverage to track down Zhao, who he just hates for some reason. Like,
they don't really discuss it in the least. He survived.
He killed like 3 Chinese delegates, and that's why he got captured.
Yeah.
But he just hates, and it's like, he didn't seem that bad. I would say for Moon and Zhao in general, like, they were North Korean extremists, but for North Koreans, they didn't seem like that much worse than the rest of North Korea.
All they wanted to do was, take over South Korea. They didn't even want to, take over the world or anything. Like, they were just, normal.
He was stockpiling weapons in a demilitarized zone.
Yeah.
And, didn't even really have a specific plan beyond that. It's not like he was like, and then we're going to invade. And once James Bond got involved, that's when he did have a big grandiose plot.
It was weird.
He made him like the Joker.
Yeah, he really did. Toby Stephens would have been a great Joker.
Yeah, alright.
Zhao is getting gene therapy to turn the North Korean man into a white guy so that he and Toby Stephens can move around unknown to the Western world.
And I think it's the best way to hide, because it literally changes their DNA is what they're saying, so there's just no way you could possibly know that, Gideon Graves was Colonel Moon. Like, there's no way to figure it out. Unless he tells you.
And then, at this point in time, we meet Halle Berry, who I will go on record and say she is far and away my least favorite Bond girl.
Jinx.
I'm gonna. I don't remember her name. Valentine or what?
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards.
I like her way more.
They're about even. Halle Berry's in the movie more, which maybe I think
is she though?
Pushes her over the edge.
Maybe she's in the movie.
January
Jones.
No.
It's Dr. Christmas.
Christmas.
It's like July Christmas or something.
Like
January
that.
Christmas or something.
Something like that.
I'm
Great though.
I'm on it.
Dr. Christmas. No, it's Christmas Jones is what it is.
Yeah, and Christmas comes twice this year.
Christmas came early.
There you go.
I'm always Halle Berry's in this movie a significant amount, but she doesn't seem like she's fucking talking at all.
She's only quipping. She only has one line.
She doesn't have anything relevant to say, and I paid attention to 3 or 4 things she was saying throughout the movie, which is more than I should have. But everything I was paying attention to was her trying to use generic like black girl hood speak, which I was fine with, but it was really she was so out of place in this movie that it like upset me.
It was very clear. Like watching it, I was like, okay, they clearly wanted to make a Jinx movie, right? Like she's this female James Bond, like pretty much exactly. She is not different at all. Yeah. She quips. She obviously sleeps around. Like she, kills people without ease. They even introduced her boss. Like they give her an M character, Michael Madsen. So that was the first thing I looked up afterwards was, and then it was in fact, and apparently the only reason they didn't do it wasn't because this movie wasn't well received. It was because female movies in general were doing poorly. Like, IMDb trivia used Charlie Angel's Full Throttle and the second Lara Croft movie as, like, the fact that those didn't do well was the reason they didn't go ahead with the Jinx movie. Yeah. Which already had a director attached, apparently. Like, it was, like, they were far along on this thing.
Interesting. And I mean, I can't say that it's the women's fault for those movies not succeeding.
No.
Those movies were fucking terrible.
No, for sure.
Like,
and that's what I would say about this one. I don't hate that idea. I don't hate the idea of the character of Jinx. I don't hate the idea of spinning her off out of this movie, of doing like, oh, this is the American James Bond spin-off, and it's she's a female. That's fine, whatever. I don't know that it would do well. But Halle Berry was not the right person for the role.
No, not at all. It was really... just like the name itself, like her name is Jinx, and I was like, it seems so forced and not done properly.
It's lame, yeah. It's like someone poorly trying to do Ian Fleming's style, right?
Yeah, and she's not a red ninja in G.I. Joe.
Well, that's true, but not a lot of people are going to get that reference.
Okay, I own it.
So she was a really poor choice to me, and I would pick Denise Richards. Like I'm saying that I think she was the worst portrayal. Like, I think Denise Richards could have done this role probably better than Halle Berry could have.
So is your issue Halle Berry?
Partially. I mean, my issue is, like, the role itself was written pretty poorly. Like, they didn't give her any background. They didn't do anything for her. And if they wanted it to be a movie of her own afterwards, they should have at least given something into her life. And I don't think Halle Berry's a good actress. I don't think... I mean, it's proven she's not a good actress.
She was really bad at doing the one-liners. Like, I think it showed that, like... whatever your problems with Brosnan are, he can deliver a one-liner. She just couldn't. She didn't.
Well, Pierce Brosnan had goddamn 25 years of practice because of Remington Steele.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, he was basically Remington Steele in a Bond movie. Through all of these.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we're getting into the quips, these were like the worst fucking lines I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like. You and I discussed it earlier. This is my second favorite of the Pierce Brosnan 4, but the lines in this were like
your second favorite movie
of the Pierce Brosnan ones for sure. Not of like
really
the James Bond ones.
I think this is much better than The World Is Not Enough. It's much more watchable.
Way better.
What about Tomorrow Never Dies?
I didn't really like it all that much.
Who's in Tomorrow? What's the bad guy in Tomorrow Never Dies?
It's English guy with the stealth boat that's going to blow people up with a nuclear war.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
And he doesn't feel pain. He's the guy.
No, that's World Is Not Enough. That's Robert Carlyle. This one's he's a newspaper magnate, and he kind of looks like the main character from Jaws, but it's not actually him.
Which one is it where it's the French girl that James Bond has sex with?
It's Sophie Marceau. That's World Is Not Enough.
Okay, I've seen World Is Not Enough.
Yeah.
I have that one.
Yeah,
and it's really bad.
It's really bad.
Jonathan Pryce.
That's who it is.
Oh wow, I am mixing up these movies. Like, and Terry Hatcher's in it.
Yeah,
she gets dead.
She's super sexy. I'll give her that. But
they're real and they're spectacular.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Tomorrow Never Dies was okay. Like I didn't mind it, but this one was way more fun.
This one's fun.
Like I can watch this one and I'd be like, man, I'm way smarter than this movie, and I'm fine with this.
Make this movie half an hour shorter, and I would watch it all the time.
Well, and also, the problem with Tomorrow Never Dies is how interesting can you make a movie where a guy wants to take over the media coverage in the world?
That's a problem. It's kind of the Quantum of Solace thing where it's like, I'm going to control the world's water supply.
Yeah, good for you, Evian.
It doesn't really seem like a James Bond type problem.
Yeah, it's kind of below him.
The EPA,
And if you look up pictures of Jonathan Pryce in that, he's 100% Steve Jobs. Like he's got like glasses and fucking black suit the entire time.
He's doing a acid and just like not really looking after his daughter very much. They really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. The lines in this movie almost made me like it less than the other two because the lines that he says are just like so bad. every like I usually do a takes of like I love these actors or like this movie's really bad or like the lines are bad. And I ticked off like 7 times that like every line that he says that is a quip just makes me want to die.
Saved by the Bell when he grabs the bell after going over the...
Just ridiculous things like that.
Would you expect anything?
But I mean, like in the other ones, they're pretty okay.
They're not really.
There's better ones than this.
Yeah,
they
roll off the tongue a lot easier. Like the Saved by the Bell would probably be the most James Bond one that I know that isn't like him talking to some girl and being like, "So I rape women."
I'll quote the Miranda Frost Jinx interaction in the Ice Palace where Miranda Frost walks up and she sees James Bond is talking to Jinx and she goes, Jinx says, "Oh, I'm a science reporter," and then Miranda Frost goes, "Oh, he must have been telling you about his Big Bang Theory."
Yeah.
And then Jinx goes, "Yeah, I think I've got the thrust." And they literally say it like that. Like they don't...
Yeah, it's rough.
It's terrible.
It's not great.
It's so terrible.
So I think these are... I mean, again, it's an attribution to the entire movie being lazy, where I still think that they're giving a shit about delivering the lines properly.
No.
I don't even think attribution is a word.
I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't going to call you out on
I don't think it is, but it sounded good.
Yeah.
You know, like it sounded like it made sense, and it sounded better than the lines in this movie, because no one gave a shit outside of Toby Stephens, who cared so much about this movie.
Tried so hard.
He gave 100% for everyone else in this movie.
Global warming. What a terrible thing.
Fucking just ridiculous.
So we're figuring that the entire cast gave 0% and Toby Stephens gave
given at
like
least
9,000%.
At
100% for every actor in the movie.
Even Judi Dench phones it into this movie, and that doesn't happen.
She's like barely in the movie.
Yeah, she's in it for 4 minutes, but I was like, oh, Judi Dench. Oh, she says a line that she just clearly doesn't have conviction in the least. John Cleese, who Q is like the only guy that keeps up with the quips of James Bond, just doesn't even give a shit anymore. He's like, yeah, the other guy died, and that's really sad for everybody, but we're gonna fucking make this work.
They like openly hate each other.
Yeah, it's really just not great. Oh.
Something I read is, speaking of like the cast, 4 months before filming started, or no, 4 weeks before filming started, they'd only cast the regulars. So like Moneypenny, James Bond, and like M, like the people that were already in the series. They didn't cast anyone else.
Rosamund Pike showed up 4 days into filming.
Yeah.
And she had to leave for a day to go get her English lit degree.
Yeah.
I read as well to
she's
go
like,
to her grad.
she's like super smart as well as being very attractive.
Yeah, and I think she had to leave to shit her pants because she was working with Judi Dench.
Oh, that's...
I read that it freaked the shit out of her.
Yeah, that was her first scene.
Yeah,
and they also had to like rewrite the entire end action scene to like include Halle Berry, and they had to rebuild the Ice Palace because
it took 6
halfway
months.
through
6 months, yeah.
halfway through the director decided that he wanted a car chase, so they had to add steel girders. So like they were literally just making this up as they went along.
And for the nerdy car side of it, they had to modify Aston Martins
to be
four-wheel drive because they couldn't drive in the goddamn ice.
Yeah. Which, I mean, kind of makes sense.
If you're if you're a James Bond person, this is the first time Pierce Brosnan drove an Aston Martin.
Yep. It was BMWs for the entirety of his series.
Yeah. Yep. That's important to some people, I guess. I don't know. James Bond always like gets the car stuff, and this was also, I guess, where the Omega Watch thing started, which was like a big thing now.
The Aston Martin, he drove that back in the Sean Connery days.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, it was a
Thunderbolt
DB5, I think.
It was a DB7.
I'm going to say 5. We're going to go with 5. Look it up. But anyways, so then, tying it back into tying Aston Martin back into the series was pretty important for James Bond film fans.
Well, this movie also came out on the 40th anniversary, so I remember they made a big deal when it was coming out that it had a reference to like every James Bond like bookend movie that had ever come out like in it, and I don't know. I imagine like at the start when the Colonel Moon has the big collection of American cars, I imagine some of those must be like old cars from the other movies, right? Like
could very well be.
There's a lot of just like cars, like again, like at the end of the movie when they're in the plane and they're dumping out cars. I'm like, I bet you some of these are like the models of cars that.
You were correct. It was definitely a DB5 in Goldfinger.
Ding dong.
Yeah, I was just making it up to try and sound like I was talking about it. I won't even lie.
You had a chance.
I know dick shit about cars.
I'm doubling down.
Yeah, gotta give it a go, right? So, I mean, if we're just skipping forward to the Ice Palace, the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I know that it's a real thing, that ice palaces happen, but, like, the invisible car doesn't work if it's driving on fucking snow.
No,
like, you can clearly see
wouldn't
that.
work, yeah.
It blew my mind.
I will say, like, I think the invisible car is what everyone remembers about this movie. I think it hasn't aged. Like, it's aged well. Like, I think now to see that, you're like, that doesn't seem that crazy that... And the way they explain it, where they're like, oh, it's cameras and it's, it's showing the other side, you're like,
yeah.
It at least makes sense. It's not the silliest thing, and they actually don't use it very much in the movie. Like, he only uses it, like, to not be seen, and then, like, the one time he does try using it in, like, a combat situation, it gets shot by bullets and immediately is taken out.
Yeah, not a bad thing.
Well, and while you brought that topic up, I'd like to speak briefly about the Brosnan series in general. I found that I almost felt like any gadgets he did use felt like a parody of the original using the gadgets. They played such a...
No, he had 3 in the ring.
And he had the pen that blew up. The pen that
you're talking about the whole series. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
all of the Pierce Brosnan ones. Like, in the Connery and Moore and Lazenby ones, the gadgets played an integral part to the, who he was.
Yeah.
But then, I guess they did away with the Q branch and the quirky gadgets, but then they kind of brought him back for Brosnan.
They went all out in this one. They also have, like, the Danger Room sunglasses.
Yeah, which I thought they were going to pop up somewhere other than him being banged by Moneypenny.
I know, it's such a weird...
That was the weirdest
It's literally the only, like, payoff for that.
Well, that's what I mean by
joke
being,
at the end.
Yeah.
That only makes sense if you're, like, a big James Bond fan. Like, Moneypenny was barely in the movie.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by being, like, a parody of it. Like the gadgets help the movie. Like he has a goddamn car that goes underwater.
Yeah,
and as an aside, did you know that Tesla in their Model S, they put in a special feature in the touchscreen where if you hit the right amount of the right buttons in sequence, it brings up the specs for that underwater Lotus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you can turn your car into the James Bond Lotus because
interesting.
Elon Musk is a big James Bond fan.
Makes sense.
But and like you've got a ton of awesome gadgets that James Bond uses. Like in I think it was The World Is Not Enough, where he's got the BMW where he doesn't have to drive, but he drives because he uses his
World's Not Enough, absolutely.
Okay, yeah,
it's just like it's his cell phone that's like fucking a laptop.
It's a goddamn MacBook.
It's huge.
Air. Yeah. So I mean, like that played so little of a role in it. I just felt like the gadgets were a parody of what they used to be.
Well, I mean, it's been discussed that the 4 Pierce Brosnan ones were all throwbacks to what the originals were supposed to be, or like what they were, because Timothy Dalton moved away from it, and his were a lot more practical. They weren't like an underwater fucking car.
By practical, you mean riding down a snow hill on a priceless cello, right?
I mean the
I know, I'm just
the gadgets, but yes, that makes sense to me. It's priceless.
What the hell
so
else
it's
would
well
you
made.
use cello for?
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh my god. So these ones, like, I mean, the pen was pretty awesome. I liked everything in GoldenEye. I'm really on board with.
100%.
I've watched all the James Bond movies within the last 6 months to a year. I sat down. I watched 24 of them in a row.
That sounds awesome.
And I have zero problem with GoldenEye, except for Pierce Brosnan. I just
he should have been Sean Bean.
He had that tongue-in-cheek sort of like, hey guys, now I'm James Bond.
It's because you can clearly tell that he and Roger Moore are like best friends. Because Sean Connery didn't do any of that. Timothy Dalton tried but failed because he wasn't he was too classy at the time.
Yeah.
George Lazenby wasn't in enough to get enough of a thing for Pierce Brosnan. So Pierce Brosnan was like, Moonraker, that's the movie for me, and he was just like on board with it.
Apparently this movie is Moonraker, right? Like it's pretty much the same plot.
Pretty much the same.
Moonraker.
Is it Moonraker or Diamonds Are Forever?
I had read IMDb says Moonraker.
Okay.
I don't know. I know Diamonds Are Forever is the oil platform.
Oh wait, what's the second one in space then? There's 2 in space. Because there's one that has Jaws in space, and the other one doesn't.
That's Moonraker at the end of it.
No, because Jaws dies in the second one.
He doesn't die. He just gets left on the spaceship
left in space
with his lady friend.
Yeah.
Bond in space.
I don't remember.
Bond in space.
So we find out that Rosamund Pike, whose name is something Frost,
Miranda
Frost, She's a mole for MI6, and she's working with Toby Stevens for some end. They don't discuss why. They're just friends.
They just like to win. That's what it is. At any cost. They want to win at any cost.
And that's confusing to me because...
I guess she just was in. She's like, I'm going to live in North Korea or just Korea, I guess. It was going to be all Korea. And they're going to take over Japan, too.
Yeah, and that's just a really weird thing to me because it's, like, not to bash any North Koreans that listen to this, they're not exactly batting 1,000. Like, no. I would pick MI6 over them every time.
I guess they were just friends. She really liked how good he was at fencing.
Yeah.
He had radicalized. I don't know her. She was not a well fleshed out character.
No.
From the North Korean point of view, they are batting 1,000. I just want to put that out there.
Well, yeah, but that's because they went to the sun and back in 14 days.
I liked what Colonel Moon's, like his dad was so reasonable for a North Korean general.
Yeah.
He's like, no, we can't invade South Korea. I was like, you're a North Korean general who doesn't want to invade South Korea?
Yeah, you're like that one guy.
I did like how the other generals were like, yes, we're going to burn them all with our space laser, which is, I don't think we've mentioned yet, that's what he has built. He's built a space laser. Somehow using diamonds.
I didn't think it was... No, the diamonds were a front. He was using a mirror to magnify the sun's rays.
Yeah, and then he was just bouncing the... You're right, he was just bouncing the sun off of...
And they figured out using the mirror to the sun because they went to the sun in 14 days.
Yeah,
that's what
obviously.
Studied it. He knew it.
And that's how they blow up the missile that's being shot at them. They just turn...
He just turns it on, yeah.
Yeah, which is... I mean, can you... I guess they would have something to, like, block the mirror part of it, but I would think that would constantly be burning the Earth.
Also, like, couldn't you just shoot a missile that came at it from behind?
Yeah. Like, you have space stations.
And there would be tons of Bond one-liners involved in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they shit the bed by not doing that.
Did you say something about going down together?
Yeah, that one was fucking brutal.
The worst was then, it's like at the very end where we're in the cabin and we just hear them saying, oh, keep it in. Oh, a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, this is gross. I don't want to... This is not you being clever. Yeah, this is you just, like, basically saying...
And I quote, this is gross.
Yeah, 100%. And on top of that, you gotta think that they're banging on those diamonds. Wouldn't that hurt a lot?
Oh, imagine getting a 14 karat up the pee hole.
Dude, imagine getting it you're laying on a bed of diamonds while fucking Pierce Brosnan is awkwardly thrusting his old man body into you. That probably hurts in more ways than one.
Maybe the sequel could be Diamond Ass instead of Diamond Face. It's Diamond Ass.
Would make sense.
The whole world is not, Die Another Day Tomorrow.
Yeah.
The sequel, Die Another Day Tomorrow.
Die the next day.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my god, like I don't even think that. I like this movie a whole bunch, but I just I hate thinking about it, but I like watching it.
There are fun parts in it because it's silly. It's a very silly movie.
Well, I like I say, I watch 24 James Bond movies, and I probably watch them once every year or so because they're that good to me. I understand, like, the bar is set so low on all of the movies that they all pass.
Well, not even all of them. Like just like Thunderball and Dr. No and Casino Royale, like the original Honor Majesty's Secret Service and stuff. Those were done those are like good movies.
Honor Majesty's Secret Service is my favorite one, and I feel like the team shit the bed by not having Lazenby be in more because I felt that he really brought a new depth to the character that Sean Connery certainly didn't have. And it's I'm not knocking Sean Connery. He was good and he was fun in his own way, but Lazenby, I just thought he was better, and his signature move, he must have thrown goddamn a dozen uppercuts in this movie. And what better way to fight off foes than with an uppercut? Everybody knows uppercuts win.
The Austin Powers karate chop, the judo chop?
Well, yeah, but uppercut him. Yeah. Judo chop won't cut through an uppercut. I'm just saying.
But Ruger has the throat rip. That was his signature move.
McGruber, the throat. McGruber. Going for the turkey.
And the water joke.
Oh, there's so many good things. So many good things.
Okay, so anyways, I'm attempting to get us to wrap this up because we've talked about Die Another Day for, I don't know, like 8% of this.
No, well, we've talked about like the James Bond thing and
it did die.
Yeah.
Well, Sigmund Freud.
I like all of the James Bond movies. There's not a single one that I won't watch. I won't lie, about halfway into the Roger Moore, I have to take a day off to re-energize because it wears me down so much. But then I get back into it, and then he's in a goddamn crocodile suit, and there's sexy circus ladies, and he's in space, and
that's a Christopher Walken. Right?
Yeah,
and then there's the super
really
weird,
long.
stereotypical, funky blaxploitation voodoo one.
Oh, that's a Dalton one, right?
No, it's Roger Moore.
there's Roger
Moore. Yeah.
It's
what's
not
that
The
one
Living
called?
Daylight. No, it's Never Say Never Again, I think.
Isn't that the second Connery one?
I think it is.
Or is that the unofficial
Oh
one?
no,
That's Thunderbolt 2.0.
Yeah, it's Never Say Never Again. You're absolutely right.
But I mean, all Timothy
Bond,
Dalton ones are just.
voodoo.
I mean, like if you want to talk about Pierce Brosnan having time to pick on this, like Roger Moore being the Saint before being James Bond, like he was James Bond and the Saint, which is the same character basically for 30 years.
Yeah, but the Saint was also super cheesy, just like.
Oh, I know, but just like that's how I'm equating Pierce Brosnan and Roger Moore to being like the same thing because there's Remington Steele and the Saint, and they wanted Pierce Brosnan to be in the Timothy Dalton ones, but he couldn't because he was in Remington Steele, so he just like basically moved the character forward. He's still wearing the same fucking tuxedo from goddamn Remington Steele. I would put money on it.
Yeah, I think, you could definitely lump Moore and Brosnan together as the goofy Bonds, and then, like, Connery and, like, Dalton and Craig are the more serious ones, and then, I don't know,
Lazenby was the best of both
really
worlds.
falls in, yeah.
Just to...
He's sort of the outlier, because he's the one who only had one movie. Like, he's the Bond who never really got to be Bond.
Yeah.
And just to interject, the weird voodoo blaxploitation one was Live and Let Die. I forgot.
I'll buy that. I liked Octopussy. That's my favorite one for Roger Moore, where he like fucking uses the fan blade.
Yeah, I can't think of a single one that I don't like. They all have redeeming qualities, and I can enjoy them from a purely...
The World Is Not Enough is awful.
I like James Bond perspective.
I mean, outside of Sophie Marceau, that movie is just genuine. Robert Carlyle, I think he's great.
Yeah, I would not watch The World Is Not Enough.
That movie's fucking rough.
It's very boring.
But I have to watch it to get through the series, and yeah, it's definitely a miss.
But do you watch the other Casino Royale with Peter Sellers?
I don't have it.
Then you don't watch the entire series. You're lying to yourself.
How about the what's the one with Kim Basinger? The one that's not actually part of the official series.
It's Never Say Never Again.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's that one.
Oh, it is that one. Yeah.
It's the exact same movie except
as Thunderball, but how did they do it? It's 100% like Thunderball, the exact same movie.
Yeah, I think they have
different.
The rights to one of the novels or something, and they
Something
don't.
like
But it isn't like the Broccoli series of Bond movies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, here we go. So Sean Connery is James Bond. Kim Basinger is Domino Vitale. Max von Sydow is Blofeld.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean is Nigel Small Fawcett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a Felix Leiter spin-off movie. I want the black Felix Leiter from the Daniel Craig ones, because that guy's fucking terrifying to me.
Yeah.
His name is...
Felix Leiter. We just fucking went over this.
No,
He's not in other
Jeffrey
movies.
Combs, I think, is the actor.
Yeah, Combs with a B.
Combs.
That's the only way to spell
Honeycombs.
Combs. I don't know why I said that. Oh, fuck.
Oh, okay, so I'm reading about this Never Say Never Again, and I want to find out why
So while you're reading that up...
Second adaptation of Thunderball, correct?
I know that because I bought it for Dad, like, a month ago.
Yeah, it was not produced by Eon Productions, but an independent one. The independent production company, one of the members of it was Kevin McClory. He was one of the original writers of the Thunderball story, so he retained the filming rights to the novel after a rights controversy.
And you gotta think that Sean Connery did it specifically for a payday. Like, that's all I can think.
I wonder if there was maybe some bad blood, too, like with him and the Broccolis.
And
Wouldn't surprise me.
It succeeded quite well in the box office. It grossed $160 million.
Well, it's the exact same as Thunderball.
Yeah.
Like the Bond movie.
Almost
I
shot
think
for
those are
shot.
always going to be...
Yeah, it's every Bond movie.
They do really well in England, too. Which, obviously.
Makes sense. So I guess, we may as well wrap it up at this point. Final thoughts for the movie. I enjoyed it. Talking about it made me enjoy it less, but I know that when I watch it, I will still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anything on you?
I would say the same thing. I had fun watching it. I kind of watched it in chunks. Mm-hmm. It's very silly. It kind of reminded me of, like, Kingsman, but at the same time, I was like, why? I should just watch Kingsman. It's a better movie, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Final thoughts?
I'm a fan. As you know, totally contrary to how I usually speak about a lot of movies. I'm a nitpicker on a lot of movies. You know, on the Yetis Without Borders website, I try only to write positive reviews. That's why I don't have as many reviews as the other guys, because I don't like writing negative reviews. Because I watch a lot of movies where I think to myself, shit, I could write a terrible review. But I'm trying to keep it positive. And this is one of those ones where I don't have to try to keep it positive. I just love him. Everything. He's misogynistic. He's an alcoholic. He should be in AA. He's a terrible person.
He should be dead.
Absolutely.
Like, not only from like the poisons and stuff like that, but his alcohol poisoning. Like, James Bond should be dead.
They make a liver joke in the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But not only James Bond. Like, I'm talking about all of the other characters in this world are kind of shitty people. Like, there's not a lot of people who are like
Q is the only one that's like a good person.
Yeah, and he stands out throughout the entire series as a strange outlier. Because, like, he's aware of how ridiculous everything is, but he's like, I'm getting a paycheck. Fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, yeah. Like, as terrible as they are, I love them all. There's not one I will throw shade at.
Alright, fair enough. So I guess that will wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Any final thoughts that you always say?
No, I'm good.
Okay, anything?
Sigmund Freud, analyze this.
Dead sexy cookies.